Welcome to Talks with Don, episode 9. Today's episode is entitled One's Confidence Should Inspire, Not Repel. First, we want to start off with some libations for the ancestors. This is for the ones whose voices were heard, who stepped up to the challenge to raise the vibration of the collective. This is also for the ones who wanted to, but due to oppression, they didn't. The call was heard. The call was answered. Ashe, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Ashe, 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 Ashe. Ashe. Let's get some of this good energy. Grand rising, grand rising, grand rising. But as always, we're going to start off with the song by yours truly, Don the Issa, The Process. The saying goes that water 6 is on level. You was attracted to ice on the bezel. The key to the door is that life's about levels. This is a tale about angels and devils. When you got the gift, what's a lotus to petals? God say protected is potent and it's special. They come for the gift, try to run with the gift. Inherently, you must be one with the gift. You cannot take this and code it through time. Perfection of craft must be molded like iron. Here you go, son, just hold it as mine. To siphon from chosen and spiritual crime. Infinity stones and songs I came to collect. Sunshine is bright, but rain is so wet. To hear the calling, I had to be alone. The casualty of your wrongs, the rarity of stones. Flawless, diamonds, sapphires, rubies. Sometimes it feels like a duty. Missing the signal can become spooky. I shame. You never know the hour to be bestowed with the power. If you go through the fire, come out cleaning in a shower. 720's the time that I picked up the day. Pass this test, get the crown. You gonna be great. Don't be late. I won't be late. You were talking to someone that owns estates. This message inside is for you to discover myself. I had to view myself as a youth, protect what I had to call on recruits. Too many soldiers to fit in a coop. If you were never alone, how can you hear your calling? Dark night of the soul visions of people's hands falling. The gift that we discuss, you can't touch it or see it. You must be careful of energy leeches. Learn to discern the finicky species. Ones that get it, get it. If you hit a still, motherfucker, just beat it. Hour to be bestowed with the power. If you go through the fire, come out cleaning in the shower. You never know the hour to be bestowed with the power. If you go through the fire, come out cleaning in the shower. Break these chains. Break these chains. Break these chains. It's time for the fire squad, y'all. Just getting one, let's go inside. Everything we need is inside us, above, so is below. I shade. Thank you to the pieces that were necessary for character development. I shade. One, I do this with love. Kiss me, frisk me, or we got risky. I know for shit show you miss me. The topic of the day is confidence. I done beat this one to the ground many a times. But why, as melanated people, when someone of our hue has confidence, we have a problem with it? I was talking with one of my guys yesterday, and he was telling me about a place that we're no longer associated with. All those guys had a problem with your confidence. Oh, such and such thing, y'all that. Then another one of my homeboys, he told me, if I ever gotta dim my light just to be around somebody, I'm not gonna go. So sometimes when we are not one with ourselves and our soul and we don't know ourselves, we operate out of ego. And instead of allowing somebody to teach and learn what you're supposed to learn from that energy, you allow your ego to try to downplay that person because you're not in a healthy place emotionally. So as melanated people, when you see somebody with a good energy, with confidence, that knows themselves, instead of trying to downplay that person, see what you can learn from that person. Top of it, my good people, if you ever kiss me. All right. That was an excerpt from my Instagram motivational talks. I want to start this Talks with Don off with a quote. We always hear this one. The highest human act is to inspire. So let's get it popping. Why do melanated people have a problem with each other when we exude confidence? As the Instagram excerpt stated, a place that I used to work at that I'm no longer associated with, these guys would talk behind my back like women because they had a problem with my confidence. I was talking with one of my homeboys the other day, and he expressed this, and he had expressed it before, and I'd already known this, but mainly it was one person he was talking about. And a lot of times when people have problems with your confidence, it's because secretly you inspire them, but they're so disconnected from knowing themselves, knowing their purpose, and knowing who they are, that instead of just admitting that they're inspired, hey, I want to learn something from you, their ego pushes them into trying to repel against you and get other people to repel against you. But as always, we always talk about energetic wounds, holes in your aura that allow disagreeable entities to attach onto you and drive you to do things that if you were one with yourself and eliminated from these entities and had emotional intelligence, you wouldn't do. When we know ourselves, we remain in alignment and we remain positive. One thing about me, if I see somebody that inspires me, I'm always going to give a compliment I'm always, man, I like your jewelry, like your shoes. Man, you made you a whole bunch of money today. Man, kudos to you. Clap, clap, clap. Because I know who I am and I'm secure within myself. I kid you not. Because I always had, and what I would think to myself is that people would be jealous of what I had material wise, but no, it wasn't that. A lot of times people see your light before you can see it, and they want to dim it and try to destroy you before you can ever have access to it and use it to propel yourself to greatness. So in high school, I always experienced jealousy, but because I've always had, I never knew the feeling of being jealous toward somebody else. So until I grew up, got into the real world, I used to look back on those times and be like, oh, man, a lot of those kids were jealous because they didn't have the material items that I had. But no, it wasn't that. It was the light inside of me, and disagreeable entities on them wanted to destroy my light before I could ever discover it, because they know this light is here to raise the vibration of the collective, help heal humanity, and bring others like me that are super empaths out of the darkness, and to rise and raise their vibration up to help the collective, such as I'm doing right now. So at the place, a lot of these guys, they had feminine tendencies, raised by single mothers, didn't know how to check their emotions. And there's another saying that goes, if I have to dim my light to go into a place, I'm just going to stop going. And at this place that I used to work at, it's funny because I knew the confidence that I possessed. I knew what I had. And because of my high school days, I knew, yeah, this can make people uncomfortable. So I worked at this place 5 years. We went through 2 different crews. And even when I first went there, before I would go into work, I'd tell myself, hey man, I'm toning myself down. I don't want to make these cats jealous of me. And even in just me being me, knowing who I am, going there to work, not trying to fit into the collective, my energy was so powerful that these people still would get jealous. You know what the nickname they gave me at this place? Amar the God, because they would pay attention to my habits, the way I ate, the way I thought. And a lot of times the resentment from some of these guys would come from sitting back watching me on social media, watching the way I lived. And that's the part that I think a lot of those guys, it made them insecure within what they didn't have going on for themselves. I take care of myself. Every Sunday I have a self-care ritual where I have time to myself to think to myself, go out. Back then it was going to different bars when I thought that was a healthy way of self-care and meeting people. But since then I'm aligned and changed. But I always have the nicest things, the nicest cars, and I know they can make some melanated people insecure because that's what we value because of low self-esteem. And I call myself toning myself down, and still in that state, a lot of these guys would find some way to dislike me. But as somebody else said that I look up to, when people have an issue with you, it's not more so an issue of what's going on with you. It's a reflection on them and their poor character. So, and young men, I want to tell you, when you go in the work or when you go out into everyday society, never dim yourself to try to fit in, because even when you feel like you have to do that, people will still sense your light, because everything is energy. And a lot of people can feel energy, but they won't say it because, one, they want to use people with an empath energy and a high energy and high vibrations. They want to use it as a feel good to power themselves up. And two, they do not want you to use the energy to help yourself and prepare yourself and harness your own energy to lift yourself to where you're supposed to be in life. What this looks like in women, and unfortunately, this is what this looked like in where I was working at, because a lot of these guys, I'm not going to even expose them, but they were more so into female lifestyles behind closed doors. Let's just say these guys had double lives and were hiding who they truly were. If you can, pick up on what I'm putting down. So what we would think is a female trait ended up being what happened at this place that me and the young man, we were all working at. What females do when they are jealous of somebody's confidence, their aura, but we just gonna say in basic terms, but in reality, that energy, what they do is they try to team up against that person and make other people in the vicinity not like that individual. And I understand that, but in some terms, why? Because as my excerpt said, when you sense somebody with energy, you're supposed to be trying to learn from that person. And out of maybe, I think 5 people at this place, maybe 1 or 2 of them admitted, hey, there's something that I can learn from you. I see that you eat vegan, you eat alkaline. Can you teach me how to eat? And a lot of times, the people in question, they would come to me and ask, hey, can you show me how to do what you do? Because I'm trying to better myself. But a lot of times the entity attachment on people, once they humble themselves to try to learn from somebody, that little entity on their shoulder screams, no, rebel. And simply put, it's just so you don't help yourself. But a lot of those people let those entities on their shoulder drive them to rebel against me, and in turn rebel against something that could help themselves raise their vibration. So when people have to team up against one person, that lets you know whoever the person is powerful by themselves. And a lot of times I'm going to tell young men and young women this: people do not like people that are fine standing in their own power and standing alone and not trying to be a part of the group. there were people at this place that had told me these self-same things. Oh, you not trying to be a part of the group. But in my mind, why would I want to be a part of the group when this is just somewhere we're coming to get money and go home? And a lot of these people, just like it goes into that statement, what really was going on is they wanted to be friends with me. And because I chose my friends carefully at this place and didn't want to hang with them, they try to turn people against me. Just female tendencies, bullshit all the way around. And we're going to move on to another part of it. Which is never dim your light. This is the last part that I'm going to talk about. We've talked about it earlier, but never dim your light to try to fit in, because when you do that, you're doing a disservice to yourself and you're doing a disservice to somebody else that may want to learn from you. So, y'all, get some of this good energy. Get some of this good energy. But we're going to close it out like this. Melanated people, we have a hard enough time in society when we go out trying to build our wealth, trying to build things for ourselves. Why do we tear each other down for the simplest things? Basic confidence, something that we're all supposed to have in ourselves, but due to trauma in childhood, people being traumatized by their families, not knowing yourself, not being true to who you are, and not living your truth, you get jealous of people that stand in their power and stand in their truth instead of trying to learn from those beings. As I said, when I was at this place, they gave me the name Ahmad the God. So if I could see it, they could see it. And some people wanted to learn, some people didn't. And I'm going to continue to raise the vibration of the collective. As I always say, I know who I am. Do you? Like, share, subscribe. Ashe, abundance. Another drink for the ancestors. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. I do this with love.